Should you continue to update your online dating profile even if you've been dating somebody for a while from the app? Hi there, men's dating coach HarryWilmington here, founder of IntrovertDatingSuccess.com. And today I'm going to actually be reading a Reddit question from a woman who's been dating a guy for 2 months, and she's at the point where she wants to have the what are we conversation, but when she went on the app, she noticed that he was still updating his pictures and profile. And obviously, since this is a man show, I'm going to talk to you about whether or not you as the guy should be doing this on the other end and what could be the pros and cons of continuing to do that as you're dating and getting more serious with a woman that you met on one of these apps. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of when I post up new daily videos. Also, go to the website to check out my free video training, How to Get Attractive, Feminine, Emotionally Stable Women Dying to Respond to Your First Messages on Dating Apps Without Using Sleazy Pickup Lines, which will give you key secrets to sparking attraction and conversations with women online the smart way. Let's get into it. So, as you guys know, this week we have been talking about online dating because I have a program out called Smart Digital Dating, and this is my A through Z step-by-step guide on how you can learn how to meet, greet, attract, and end up dating women on dating apps and from online dating. This is based on my years of experience, and so I've been having a special this week whereby if you order the program before December 2nd, or by December 2nd, then you will have an additional bonus, which is a one-on-one 45-minute conversation with me on the phone or by way of Zoom or Skype, where we talk about your dating life and the things that you're trying to do to improve it, and you can get my help. And this is something I charge a lot of money for. But I put this program together because a lot of guys are just not having a good enough time on online dating and on phone app dating. And I have perfected the craft of how to get dates with qualified women that are like very high quality and know what they want out of life and will most likely be attracted to you if you know how to do the right things on these apps. So if you've been struggling with online dating, I want to help you out. You can go to smartdigitaldating.com/enroll to check out everything the program has to offer. But basically, I'll teach you how to put together your profile, how to message women, the kind of pictures you need to take, how to actually get women to agree to a date, all these things that are hard for a lot of guys. Like I said, I figured it out, guys, so you don't have to go through the years of anguish that I did to figure it out. You can get this program and do your thing. So in lieu of that, this week I'm answering questions relating to online dating and any questions that you guys have or just subjects I think that will be worth talking about by way of Reddit and other places that I find questions, okay? And by the way, this program does come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you get the program and you decide it's not for you, then you can just write me and say, hey, Harry, appreciate the program, but I want my money back. And I'll give you 100% of it back because I don't want to keep your money if you don't like it. But I think you're going to be surprised at the results that you'll be able to get amazing, incredible results with being able to date awesome, hot, fine, attractive women. If that's something you're looking for, check out the program, smartdigitaldating.com/enroll. But anyway, I want to talk about this subject in particular because this is one of those things whereby, let's say you meet a girl from online dating and you've been going out with her for a while, but you still have your profile up. Now, I encourage you guys to continue to have your profile up until you guys start having conversations about being in a more serious situation. Because a lot of guys, they jump the gun, they get too serious too soon, and they want to take the thing down before she's ready. And then it makes it, to her, it adds pressure to the situation, and she become less attracted to you a lot faster. So you want to make sure you're keeping that profile up until she brings forth the question of what are we. But I thought it was interesting to see something from a woman writing about a guy she's dating that is still continuing to update his profile. And I want to talk about that because I have my own thoughts about it and I have my own method of how I go about dealing with my profile online as I'm dating somebody for a decent amount of time, all right? So the title of her post is, it says, next steps after seeing they still update their profile on a weekly basis. So the question goes like this. She says, I met a guy through online dating. We've been seeing each other for 8 weeks, and we meet in person at least once per week. We've hit the period when I'd usually ask someone if there's enough potential or interest to keep going, or if we should move on. So by the way, I want to pause because I want to point this out, because some of you guys think that you need to be the one to bring it up, and you need to be the one to start asking the question of like, hey, so we've been going out for a while, so I want to know where we're at. But notice, the woman got to that place. You want the woman to be the one to get to that place and bring it up, because as guys, let's be honest, after 2 or 3 dates, we're already ready to wife the girl up practically. But if they're not there, then they're going to get scared off. Women tend to need a little bit more time to be able to get to that part where they're ready to like start having those conversations. And so if a woman is continuing to say yes to dates, then you don't have to worry about where you're at because you're good, okay? But let her be the one. As you can see, she's getting to that point. It's been 2 months. And when I tell you guys, it takes on average 2 to 3 months for a woman to get to the point where she's ready to be in a relationship. So 8 weeks, 2 months in, she's now ready to have those conversations because to her, she's like, we've been going consistently. Everything's been going good. I could see this now possibly being a long-term thing. But you have to let women get there. Continuing on, she says, we've gone through many of the typical milestones like spending the night at each other's places and having some deep heart-to-heart talks about family, our past, and future aspirations. He follows me on social media and always looks at / comments on my stories shortly after I post them. Now, I told you guys before, do not become friends with women that you're just dating on social media because this can be a thing that you're giving her too much of your story, and therefore she can start to wane a little bit in her attraction, and she won't know why that is. But you only want to have her have access to you when you're on dates. Now, once you become boyfriend and girlfriend, then, you want her to become a friend on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, that's at your discretion, but don't really try to stay away from that during the dating phase itself, all right? But continuing on, so she says, before jumping into the question, I'm trying to do a gut check and scoping out the situation with a hopefully objective lens. I muted / paused my profile on the dating app 6 weeks ago. So 2 weeks in, she paused it, okay? But still checked his profile 4 to 5 times over the last weeks, including this week. Each time, I noticed he's updated with new photos and content, such as changing his listed job, height, and age, which is very odd to me. I don't know why this guy's changing his age. But anyway, so she's seeing this and it is putting up some huge red flags, okay? She says, I know the age-old advice is that people will keep looking until they've agreed to commit, but I'm wondering if it's worth asking for a relationship in light of this evidence. Is there ever a convincing, innocent reason for updating your profile, or is it always with the intention of matching with someone better? Is it best to just let it go for a few weeks longer and see what happens? Okay, so I did write this woman back, and when I'd said to her, because in my experience, when I've been dating somebody, if I do not think that they are the person that I want to stay with long term, or if I feel like there might be better choices out there, then I will do this. I will leave my profile up, okay? But and even if to the point where we're not at the point where she's brought up the what are we question, my typical motto, and what I tell you guys too, is that until you have that conversation, you want to keep your profile up, okay? You don't want to give her the impression that you've already chosen her as your person because you want her in some way kind of chasing after you. And as I always say, if she's chasing you, she can't be replacing you. But this is an interesting wrinkle, is as you're keeping your profile up, should you change your picture? Should you change your bio information? Should you be alternating stuff on these things? Well, I want to say this for sure, is that understand that as long as your profile is up, women that you are dating are going to keep going back to your profile. Now, they might go for various reasons. They might want to go back because you guys had a conversation on there and she wants to reflect on that conversation, or look back at when you guys first met and go for that. She might want to be able to look at your pictures at times that you're not there. But she could also be going on a spy mission to see if you are, in fact, changing up your profile. And she's going to take that, if you are doing it, as an indication that maybe she's not the one that you've completely made a decision on yet. Maybe she has other competition out there. Now, the question is this a bad thing? Well, I'm going to tell you what I do first, okay? So when I do my dating profile, my goal is to set up a profile that I like 100%, to the point where when I perfect that profile, I don't need to change it at all at any time. So once I figure out my pictures, once I figure out what I'm going to say, I do not alter that ever. So let's say I have been dating a girl for 2 months. Yeah, my profile will still be up, but I'm not going on there regularly to change anything out or pictures. Now, this is just my personal choice. The way I do it is that even if a woman thinks that I might still be potentially having other dates, I don't want to necessarily give the impression that I'm actively seeking out. Like I want there to be some kind of ambiguity there. Like if my profiles is still up, despite us having dated for 2 or 3 months, then she might believe, oh, maybe he is dating other people, or maybe he's not. She won't know. And I find that ambiguity can sometimes lead to like a woman like still being interested and not knowing if she has to fight hard or not, but it still keeps her in the ball game, okay? But it's in a way where it doesn't feel disrespectful, because if I have my app or my profile up, but it doesn't look like I'm doing anything, then she can at least still feel like on some level I'm respecting the process, at least in my head, okay? Now, with that said, there are some guys that want to change stuff up. My opinion of that is, honestly, you can play that to your advantage if you choose to. Like, for example, in this case, this woman's not saying that she would not outright ask this guy the "what are we" question or try to see if he wants to be in a relationship, but it is giving her some kind of pause of like, how good am I? Because if he's changing up his profile, does that not mean that he's thinking there's better out there? And he very well could, or he could be thinking, well, I don't really know where her head's at, and for all I know, she could still be dating other guys, and I might not yet be her top pick, so I may need to keep my profile fresh in order to attract new potential dating people in case this doesn't work out, So either one of those could be true. But notice what she's doing for her is that it's still making her be in her head about stuff. So what I have found, or at least what I believe is this, is that if you're going to be a guy that is going to keep his profile up as you're getting more serious with one or two particular women, then understand that this is a situation where you might have one or two reactions. Either A, the woman might decide to just stop talking to you altogether and not give you an explanation as to why, or you might have the woman come to you and say, hey, so I don't mean to pry, but I went on the dating app the other day and I noticed that you had changed up some things, like what's going on? Now, if that second one happens, a lot of guys might get threatened by that or feel like, oh, I got to lie to her or do whatever. But this is an example of using a situation to your advantage to get the outcome that you want. So for example, let's say you wanted this woman to be one that was going to be long-term. Well, this is when you now open the conversation of, well, yeah, I still have my dating app up and I'm still changing stuff out because, we're still just dating as far as I know. I'm hoping it gets more serious, but right now we're still just dating and I didn't know where you were at with that. What are your thoughts about that? Now, at this point, now it goes back to her corner where if she's wanting you, she's going to have to give up the game. She's going to have to tell you, well, because I thought we were going in a serious place and I kind of wanted to have a conversation about us being more serious, but, I didn't know and I saw the thing on the app and this is that. At which point you come back with, oh, so you're saying that you wanted something more serious with us. So again, she's given up the game. At this point, she has to now come forth with saying like, yeah, I want to date you and I want to see what that could look like, and does that mean we're going to still have our apps up or not, or whatnot? And at this point, if you were at the point where you are also ready to date her, then you had that conversation to make it into something more serious. If you're at a point where you still just want to feel things out, you can be honest and say, well, I think we have a good thing going and I'm still trying to weigh my options. So I still want to date you, but I also still want to see what else is out there. If that's something that you can't handle, then I understand that. And hey, no harm, no foul. But, if you're still cool with us doing what we're doing, then that's good too. Okay. But the point is, you never have it where you let this kind of thing throw you off your game. Regardless of whether you're trying to do something serious, something long-term, or whether you like the girl but you want to see what else is out there, or you like the girl and you do want something more serious, regardless of what it is, do not let this jar you. Because if you're doing this kind of thing where you are regularly, changing things up in your profile, this is the kind of thing that can and will happen. But again, if you let her be the one to throw you off, then you're going to look a little bit weaker. You're going to look like you don't really know how to control the situation, and it can actually be to your detriment, okay? There's nothing necessarily wrong per se with changing up your dating profile as you're getting serious with one person, but just know that you have to be prepared for these kinds of questions and possible consequences, one of which could be she decides, well, I feel like he's playing games, and so I don't want to deal with this anymore, and she could be out, okay? So if that's something you're willing to deal with, then by all means, keep your profile up and continue to change it up. If that's something you're not trying to deal with, then keep your profile up, but just don't change it. But that's why it's imperative to make your bio and your pictures and all that good stuff as solid as possible before you start doing this process. And if you don't know how to do that, guess who's got a program to teach you just that? You can go to smartdigitaldating.com/enroll to see the various things that the program has to offer. But we walk you through this kind of stuff. We walk you through how to put together the right pictures, how to put together the right bio, what to say, what triggers to put in your profile, and how to make it the best thing it could possibly be so that way you do not have to change it up as you're getting more serious with somebody, because you might not want to deal with this kind of situation. I know I don't. I just don't. I like the less drama as the less drama, the better. So when I set my profile up, I set it up one way and that's that. I don't change up pictures. If I start seeing somebody more seriously, I definitely make sure I don't go in there to try to change stuff up, So even if they see me online or, go there and see my profile up, they're not thinking, well, he's just, doing whatever. And again, in the process of online dating, everything's a process. Women know instinctively that if you're doing online dating, you're probably seeing more people than her until you decide to make this more serious. But that said, as you can see, they will eventually come to you with these questions if they really, really like you, okay? Don't give them a reason to hesitate about that or just walk away. But again, this is all at your discretion. You do what you feel is going to be best for your dating life, and then you go from there. Thanks for watching this episode of the Introvert Dating Success Show. If you found the info in this episode to be helpful, please show your support by clicking on the tip jar tab, the link of which can be found at the website and in the description below. While there, you can also download a free copy of my ebook, Texting Like a Boss, where you'll learn the kinds of texts that really attract women. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment on this episode, and catch new episodes 7 days a week right here on YouTube or wherever podcasts can be found. In the meantime, be sure to check out some other episodes so that you too can learn to date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.